seeing what is here collectively for the week, and mm, mm. I could go on a whole spiel about the collective things happening right now, but that's not what we're here for. We are here for you, the individual, trying to move through what the collective is happening and survive it, right? And find your thriving in there. So, happy New Year to all of you. And today I'm going to be drawing from the Gateway of Light Activation, another deck by Kyle Gray. And just in case you have not joined me for a Monday morning vibe check yet, I always draw 3 cards for the collective, make some comments on them, just comment on whatever energy I'm picking up on, and then I usually give a little bit of a personal update. So let's see what the cards have to say for this week of January 5th, our first vibe check of 2026. All right. Interesting energies already coming out. I wanted to use the Gateway of Light activation because, when we move through a collective transition, such as a new year, there is this swell of energy. There is this, everybody's kind of got their eye on the prize of that fresh calendar year. And what can we do with it? What can we make happen? Wow. Okay. Well, this these are really interesting pulls. And I'm just going to say, before I start my interpretation, at the end of 2025, I got a very strong nudge to really let the freak flag fly, so to speak. And I understand I have a little bit of fear around some of what I want to speak on because it is the wooiest of the woo and the out there and the galactic and related to star beings, or some people call them star seeds, or some people, well, my friend Red calls them spiral born. And oh my gosh, I could tell people so many stories about my cosmic view of those things. But whether you believe there are other star beings out there or not, I'm going to talk about them because that's where we're at. And that is what's coming through these cards this morning. So, good gravy. First, we have Pleiadian activation. And I apologize. On my mobile, I can usually, the cards are usually flipped, but I don't know what it's looking like for you today because I'm using the computer. That's what's new over here this morning. But Pleiadian activation, look at this beautiful energy. And this is a message of coming together. It's a message of the need for harmony. And the Pleiadians, so the Pleiadian star beings, are really this gentle energy of wanting to welcome us into essentially the harmony of the heavens, what we think of as heaven. They want to remind us that we can co create heaven on earth and that there can be resolution. And right now, as we are dealing with just so much conflict in the world and some chaos and some big turns of events, we need this reminder to experience more harmony. We need this reminder that it's possible that we can have resolution together. We are not in it alone. And so, oh, good. I'm glad to know that you guys can see it right, because on my side, it is totally backwards. um, the reminder that we co create harmony. So, how can you be the energy of harmony even as the world around you is just maybe not feeling so good? As the world around you is going through some violence, as the world around you is making some poor choices, how can you be the energy of harmony and coming together? And if you wish to, working with the Pleiadian energy, the Pleiadian star beings, is an option. Which takes us into our next card, which is the Venusian Galactic Council. Again, this card's so bright, almost hard to see, because we have these beautiful light beings of the Venusian Galactic Council who are star being guides. I don't think we have literal tangible beings over on Venus. I think we would have probably figured something out by now, because that's close enough for us to pay attention to. But there are these guides, these cosmic beings, these energetic beings that we might not be able to perceive with our technology that are still gathered around many places in the universe that are still available to us in one realm away from our own, one layer of dimension away from our own. So I like to talk about, this is the 3D. We have our 3D body, the tangible. The 4D is where we access the bridge between the physical and the 5D. So the 4D is really a point of consciousness. And the 5D is really where a lot of guides sit, and a more unseen energetic realm. And I see the fifth dimension also as shadow, where we can go in deep within ourselves and access these other worlds. And so the Venusian Galactic Council is essentially, fifth dimensional and above unseen entities that we can call on to help us answer our call and allow ourselves to shine. And that is so much of what we need to do in this year is allow ourselves to shine in our own unique light. I feel like this goes hand in hand with harmony because we can only create harmony when we're in harmony with ourselves. It has to start from ourselves first, and then it ripples out. And so this Venusian energy is here for you to tune into that gentleness. There's a loving energy about these star beings, these entities. And they want to help you answer your call. They want to help you soften into your heart. They want to help you shine your light as they are in their own unique star being way. And then finally, let me take some water here. We have Anunnaki light codes. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, we have all the star beings coming out today. Anunnaki light codes. These beings, the Anunnaki are another widely misunderstood cosmic entity, star being, because the Anunnaki, if you listen to a lot of stories of people who have worked with star beings or are familiar with like the lore, so to speak, the Anunnaki kind of intervene when we need a big energetic shift. And in fact, that is one of the meanings of this card is an energetic shift. The Anunnaki come in when big change is needed. And so there's been an association with them being a little tough love in a way, but it is from the highest light. It's from the highest good to make sure that these energetic shifts can occur and we can get new information so we can end cycles. And again, looking out into the world, we see some major cycles playing out right now. We see literal historical cycles playing out in a modern way. And it's really scary and it's really distressing and it's really overwhelming for so many of us if we're paying attention to what's happening in the larger world. And that's where there's an invitation essentially to stop being in that cycle. Like, ooh, okay, they're coming in hot. It's happening out there. And the powers in play right now are making decisions that are having an impact on the individual person. And it's so hard to look away or to not pay attention at times to what is happening. But the Anunnaki want us to know that there is a new way that we can look and then we can reorient back into our lives and essentially calling on this Pleiadian activation to be in that energy of harmony, even when that distress and that despair and that anguish wants to pull us down. So the Anunnaki's tough love is essentially like you don't have to get lost in the sauce. New information. This is a part of a larger cosmic cycle that is calling in a new era of being. And oh my gosh, it's messy and it's going to be messy. But it can be an energetic shift for us as individuals and as a collective, the more that we anchor in, which anchor is my word for 2026. Wonder if y'all have any words for 2026, but to really anchor into these other energies, the energy of harmony and the energy of shining our light, which we need to do in order to make this bigger collective shift possible. And I see the chaos and the harm being done in the world, and I know that it comes down to us as individuals. Yeah, ooh, choice is your word. And yes, it comes down to us as individuals making our choices to find the glimmers, to find the joy, the pleasure, the fun, the compassion, the love, the just the depth of being human here on earth at this time. And so, how do you get to live and love your life more? That's the invitation. How do you choose more love for yourself and more play for yourself and resourcedness for yourself so that you can do what you need to do and live out your purpose or your mission or your joy? It doesn't have to be productive or for some higher reason, but I'm definitely a purpose driven person, and my purpose is to help other people shine their light and know that it's okay to be them. And it doesn't have to be any more fancy than that, right? What is your heart calling you to do? What is your soul calling you to do in this year to co create more harmony, joy, and love in the world, and to answer your personal call, not anyone else's call, your personal call? So, to recap, we had all the star being energy come out today. I would be so curious to like flip through this deck. Obviously, this deck is very star seed sort of related, but there's not that many actual star beings in here. It's more like gateways and activations, and yeah, there might be like two or three others. So the fact that in like a 40 plus card deck, we got three star beings, I just think is really fun. But again, to recap, we have Pleiadian activation, really reminding us to step into harmony, that this is possible for us. We can have resolution in our own lives if we allow ourselves to focus there. The Venusian Galactic Council is reminding us to answer our call and shine our light in the world, to really step into our power and to know that there are star being guides out there, right? And that the Venusian Galactic Council is literally associated with star being guides. So, seen and unseen energetic forces beyond our understanding are there for us to tune into and support us. And then our Anunnaki light codes, the Anunnaki are reminding us of the little tough love, that there are some energetic shifts happening and we need to take in new information to create a new way of being in the world. But just like we were told that there can be resolution from the Pleiadians, we are being reminded by the Anunnaki that there can be an end to the cycle. The cycle of violence can end. And, I like to think that that is the trajectory that we're on together, is trying to end the cycle of violence, end generational trauma and wounds and all of that stuff. But one step at a time, do what is yours to do, what only you can do, being your authentic self, plumbing your full depths for what is yours to share with the world. I love the question, what is mine to share today? And, what is mine to share today can be sharing an energy, sharing words, sharing food, sharing gifts, sharing intentions, sharing space, company. But what is mine to share today really anchors us into what's mine for today. I had a lot of messages over the weekend with everything that's currently happening with the US and foreign affairs, is all safe on that for right now. And just a lot of despair and what do I do and how do I respond? And I feel like this is the answer. It's to be the energetic shift. It's to be the harmony. It's to shine our light. It's to live our mission, our purpose. And that is not changing the whole world. It's showing up in our communities with our people and asking, what is mine to share today? So that is my energy for the week. I hope that that landed and that some of those messages give you hope or anchoring or give you a sense of, how you can choose moving forward. I know it is just so complicated and messy to be human at this point in time right now. And I'm holding the utmost love and compassion for us all, because it's a challenging time. And yet we all came here for a reason at this time, or so I believe. So, On a personal note, let's see here. The 3 tasks in a trench coat has continued. We now need to paint an entire other room at the park house before we can sell it. And we have, I think other than that, just minor plumbing no, I shouldn't say minor. Some plumbing work to finish up. And then fingers crossed, we will be putting it out there. I'm going to see my family tonight, and I haven't seen them in a while, and I'm feeling a little anxious about it. But anchoring, I've seen, that's why I've been given this word of anchor, is like remembering that I'm anchored to the earth, and she is my anchor, and I'm also anchored to my higher self. And there's this rootedness from top to bottom that I can tune into and really trust to support me. And so that's kind of the energy I'm working with throughout this year. And then I think I told this story on my moon ceremony the other day, but I just still can't get over it. I participated in like a 13 nights of Yule thing, like participated meaning I was doing it on my own, but I had seen a bunch of people talking about writing wishes on slips of paper and then like burning them. And then the wish that you were left with on January 1st would be the one you are responsible for. You are personally responsible for making happen this year. And I'm sitting like, oh, what do I want to wish for? And of course, there was stuff about being an author and writing more books and really serving more people as a transformational guide and welcoming more people into my community and my programs and deepening relationships and like all of that. And then the first thing I wrote down was that I wanted to be healthy in my body, mind, and spirit. And I really feel very anchored in my spirit and my mind pretty good, right? We have some anxiety and the human ups and downs, but I don't feel hard on myself or down on myself on the regular or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, I feel mostly healthy, but my physical body, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia back in 2019 and have since realized that I have I can never, it's hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos. I always want to call it hyperextensive because that was the word my doctors used with me when I was a kid and never expanded on it. But I've realized that. And then, I've just had issues with my immune system since I was a kid and nearly died when I was 12 from being ill for pretty much a year. And so my body has struggled, and that makes sense because I'm a survivor of extreme physically based trauma. And so my body has kept the score. And so as I'm writing down my wishes and I write down this, I want to be healthy in my body, mind, and spirit. And I felt this intuition drop in and I was like, this is the wish you're going to be responsible for this year. And sure enough, it is. And so I am on this physical health journey right now. And I was last year too because I didn't have health insurance. I still don't have health insurance this year. And so it's like I'm responsible for my health. And this year, though, I'm really responsible for my health. And it frightens me. You'll hear me talk about fear because I'm a little, I get real spooked. But it like scared me. And then also I'm like, okay, but your intuition was on point. And then just to like put a little, and the universe is still playing with you and like we're having fun. Literally the other night, as I'm like, all right, I just got to trust my intuition. It's happening. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. And there's this sort of like fun resignation in there. I happened to mention the Sex Pistols to my housemate. And literally within the next 2 hours, we watched an episode of The Great British Bake Off that mentioned the Sex Pistols. And then I was playing a video game that's sort of like an online social video game with my partner, like right after we finished watching The Great British Bake Off. And someone had a t-shirt of the Sex Pistols in the game. And I was like, okay, so we're really playing in the realms of intuition and synchronicity, and the universe is just giving me these nods like, like the synchronicities show us like, oh, you are following the path, keep going because we're playing with it. Here's the little glimmers of magic. And the Sex Pistols don't mean anything to me. It was just we were talking about punk rock bands. I brought them up, and then there they were. There they were. It was like, okay, we're just playing in the realm of synchronicities and following these little glimmers of intuition. So I invite you to play with that too. See where you're seeing things in threes, or something is going to happen and it happens. These are the signals we need to pay attention to really know we can trust ourselves. The more that we pay attention to these signals and they show themselves, they prove themselves, the more we're going to be anchored into the truth of who we are. So, and then we get to shine our light and make our magic, and it's very exciting. Yeah. So, how are you all doing? How is this new year treating you already? Do you have hopes for this year, your word for the year, your goal, your wishes? I don't really love resolutions where they're super strict and I'm gonna exercise every day. Like, that's not for me. If it's for you, cool. But I like the idea of an energy, like a word, and a wish, an aspiration that we get to work towards. So I'd love to hear from you if you have a word or a theme, or if you have a wish that you are working on manifesting this year. So that's our first vibe check of January 2026 of the year. Certainly going to be an exciting year ahead, my friends. Cannot deny that, but we are in this together. And just like the Pleiadians are trying to remind us this morning, we can co create harmony together. There can be resolution. So, until next time, my friends, I am Safrianna Luna, the Queer Spirit Guide. I love you so much. I see you, I believe in you, and I'm cheering you on. And I just saw that we were at 2222222 on the time there. So, love little angel number synchronicities too. All right, my friends, until next Monday. Bye for now.